David Page,
What up, my dog?
welcome back to Blantyre.
Thank you. You know what? You're the first person who's put back in Blantyre. Everyone is like, welcome to Blantyre.
Oh,
You're the
yeah?
first person to say, welcome back to Blantyre.
Mm.
Thank you, man.
People don't know about your Wafe days.
Ash, so many memories, man.
Mm. What was it like at that time, organizing an event like that?
Well, doing Wafe back in 2015, man, it seems like a long time ago, eh? 16 years ago?
11.
What, it's 11?
Is it?
It's 11. It actually is 11.
Yeah.
I'm terrible with math. See, I'm not the math guy. I'm the production guy.
Let's go.
But yeah, man, 11 years ago, yo, man, I think it was just like we were just driven by passion for the creative space, and I think also just like a sense of like rebellion, going against the grain. Yeah, I think that's why we like sort of like put the event on the street and stuff like that. Yeah, but I mean, we're young, and we're very driven. So yeah, it was amazing. Quite an experience. It's mixed emotions when I think about it. When I look back, a lot of good memories. But I think that was probably my first big production. So I learned a couple of tough lessons, but no regrets, man. It's made me, it shaped me into the event producer that I am today. So yeah, man, that was the foundation, the beginning, where it all started.
What would you say is the biggest lesson that you learned during that time that really changed the way you approach organizing events?
It's a couple of things that I can think of, but I think the biggest one is like being authentic, which is something that I carry us until today. Always making sure that you're being true to yourself, and you can be inspired by other people and other stuff that you see, but your creations must come from within. Like you have to believe in what you're doing, because if you don't, people can also sense it. Do you know what I mean? So that kind of just pushes you to take risks, and big risk, big reward. But also I think then it was more of like just passion driven, but now it's also like a big sense of like business, which is something that I learned. Like I said, there's some hard lessons that I learned from that, and it was mainly like management and admin stuff that I had to go through then, that I've been able to use until today. That okay, this is how we protect ourselves. This is how we protect the brand. This is how we protect the product, because that's the most important thing.
You talked about being driven by passion back then. Do you still see that same passion in the Gen Z that coming behind us?
I think I do. I genuinely do. I think it's just, it's hard to pick them out, But yeah, man, there's a lot of youngins that are like doing great stuff, and now it's like, with technology and AI and stuff, people are doing crazy stuff, I think the industry has grown since then. There's more opportunities for people that are in the space now, trying to come up in the space. Because now, like, creating content back then was so tough, but now if you have a good phone, you can do so much. So maybe because there's a lot of access, people have access to like stuff, to gear, and everyone is creating, it's kind of hard to like pick them out until like this sort of like stand the test of time, and then you can then see that, oh, this is a real deal and this is not. But I think there's still some things that that are lacking, that could help like young creators, just stuff that maybe I would say we didn't we didn't have access to, and young creators until this day don't really have access to, and you sort of like have to improvise. And the best people that are able to do that in Malawi, because in Malawi you have to adapt. You have to see what's on the ground. Like, it's so easy to dream, but you have to like be very aware of the reality on the ground, without sort of like watering down your product or your idea, So yeah, there's a lot of content out there, a lot of people doing stuff, but until maybe you do something that's like so huge, then people don't really notice. But I'm sure there's kids that are doing stuff, but the scene generally, like here in Blanta, I just don't. It's not very active, like compared to back then,
What do you think is the reason why, Blanta didn't really like expand in terms of entertainment?
I don't know, man. Like, I haven't lived here in quite a bit, so I'm not too sure of like the patterns, like the behavioral patterns of like actual Blanta people. But I feel like people are used to certain things, certain places, and that's what they do. But I still see that when there's new spaces out, people still attend them. But it really just starts in like spaces. You know what I mean? Like, I think one of the stuff that maybe personally I benefited a lot from was like the poetry sessions at Kwaharaba. You met a lot of like like-minded people, and then you share passions, and then you see, oh, when you come together, because collaboration is a big part of like a lot of success stories that you hear from Malawi. So just more creative spaces where people can express themselves, and then where they can also meet like-minded people, and then that's where like I feel like a lot of great ideas are born.
There seems to be an exodus of Blantyre creatives going to Lilongwe.
It's been happening. Like, no, man. I feel like it's not just creatives. I think it's every industry. For years now, people have been relocating to Lilongwe. I think it's just like more opportunities there. Life is a bit faster there. Yeah, so I think. Yeah, but I think there was actually a time that I noticed that there was like a lot of like people moving from Blantyre to Els. I think it was like 2017, 2018, around then. Because there were a lot of like grants, NGOs were very involved in the art space. Okay. But then COVID hit and a lot of those projects collapsed. So, but creators and artists have had to adapt regardless, even without that. So I don't think that's something that maybe creators from maybe this side kind of know. But I think it's just people just adapting and saying, okay, what's the next venture? You see a lot of artists hosting their own shows, But yeah, I mean, in Blanta, when you see like someone hosting a show, it's like a listening party. And it's a lot of like, even artists, bro, like even if you think about it, some of the biggest artists, a lot of the big artists in Malawi are from Lilongwe, which is never used to be like that. Like,
80% of the industry.
Yeah.
Blanta people moved to Lilongwe and then suddenly they make it. seems to be a trend.
What do you say?
What to be a trend.
What do you say? There's a lot of Lilongwe people though, like that are also like really in the space. Yeah. Okay. I was born and raised in Blanta, but
yeah.
So like I am a Lilongwe creator. I'm Malawian, bro. Like I don't really think of like, because like with the stuff that I do now, like we're always doing events in Blanta. So like it's probably us keeping maybe like even the event space active in Blanta. But there's like a lot of stuff like Love and Rhythm, which is really dope. Some of the events that I've seen that I would like to attend in Blanta, BBC. It's just that it's not happening anymore. Shout out to Trape, but it's no longer in the country. And, that thing is not active anymore. But You know, like even Dwabe started doing the, you know, the Porsche events, you know, before just before he left. And yeah, but I think, but you see, Blantyre's like that sort of space where like you can build like something special like BBC, you know, same as Lilongwe, and even Zuzu now is like picked up a lot, you know, and it's a lot of dope stuff, dope artists. It's massive right now. So I'm not for like I don't like to separate like the Malawian space, the Malawian creative space, because I feel like it's already, our numbers are very small. Like it's so hard for you to say, this is where I am, this is where I'm from, and my business model is gonna be for, it depends on what you're selling, but like if I'm talking about art, like music and events, then you want to tap into different. Malawi is so small, so if you're just gonna do Blantyre alone, it's just a matter of time before people start feeling like, you know, we've seen this last month, we've seen this. But it's just different modules of like events and products. But I would say social media and the sort of like decline of radio. Yeah, and the decline of radio, like, because now if it's not made on Monday, no one is really listening to the radio. So I think Blantyre artists back then had a lot of like access to radio stations and a lot of the mainstream platforms that pushed music. So without that, I think with the internet, it made it a fair ground for everyone anyway, because artists had to come to Blantyre to leave their CDs or like their flash discs and their music. And, you know, you have an advantage if you live in Blantyre, you grew up in Blantyre, because you kind of have a relationship. There's a higher chance of you having a relationship with a radio presenter or someone who's also from around, you know. So I would say maybe they just had an advantage back then because of access to the media spaces, but now, yeah.
Briefly take us through your transition from Wafe to the Sunday Soirée. About to take over the summer. Already took over the winter.
Oh no, man, it's been a very interesting journey, man. Again, it's just sharing spaces with like-minded people, people driven by the same vision, wanting better for Malawi, better experiences for ourselves, and, you know, for like-minded people. So I think even then, the reason we're doing fashion shows is because like one of my partners in the soirée and also in Wafe was TJ, and he was a fashion designer, and same as Terry is also a fashion designer, and Sharon is a model, you know. So we're creating platforms for ourselves because those platforms don't exist. So we have to create the platforms ourselves, like even with DJing. I DJ now, and, you know, my mates as well, we all DJ, and, you know, we created space for ourselves, a platform for ourselves to sort of like showcase ourselves and our talents, and, you know, market ourselves. So yeah, man, the journey has been very interesting. I'm sure it's very far from finished. We're just getting started, man. Like, yeah, we're just really just getting started. I don't know if I've answered your question. You're talking about transition. What do you mean transition? What do you mean by that?
I mean, just, you know, moving to the long way, you know, and still finding a way to make it happen that side.
Yeah, I think it's the same thing where it's like just sticking around like-minded people. When I moved to Lilongwe, I started working with Zaluso Arts.
Yeah.
So that's like-minded
people.
Yeah, I was literally just plugged in and just connected with everyone who was in the space at the time, you know. So it was kind of easy to like learn the industry there. Okay, this is who, this is Teamy, this is the plug, this is where we host these kind of things. This is where we get sound. This is who does lights. This is who does this and that, stages and stuff like that. And, just also getting into the space, worked a lot with George Kalukusha doing Bakonde sessions. With also us, we did a lot of events as well. So yeah, and I think everyone in our team, in the Soirée team, has a background of events, So like if you really look at it, it's like a combination of like a bit of what everybody was like is and has been doing for a while. Like Teamy has always been has always hosted wine tastings and wine pairings, in his backyard. You know what I mean? If you look at it, it looked like a proper event, quality production, attention to detail, those kind of things. So when you combine that and TJ, who's got like a fashion background, everything, and we all are very passionate about music, and now we're actually actively recording and putting out and publishing music. So it's always been in the mix. I co-founded Conquer, so I've always been in the spaces where it's like fashion and it just breaking boundaries and just pushing the ceiling in terms of like producing and branding and pushing the culture and elevating it.
Before we wrap it up, you're back in Blantyre. I'm sure people are like, yo, what's Paige doing in Blantyre? What should Blantyre expect?
What should Blantyre expect? Blantyre should expect we're bringing something new to Blantyre this year. I'm very excited. We're here just scouting spaces, looking at places, trying to find the right space to do the event that we have in mind. I can't speak much on them. Yeah. But yeah, I think we've got 1 or 2 events coming to Blantyre this year. And we never miss Blantyre. Like we always come to Blantyre at least twice a year. Last year we did the most. I think how many times did we come last year? Maybe 3 times? We had how many events? 2. At Macaulay, Saints, and that. Yeah, 2 events last year. So at least 2 events in Blantyre. Yeah, so yeah. Blantyre always shows us love, man. Like when you come to Blantyre, like with the soirée, like have you ever been to the soirée?
Oh no, I missed the one here. I think I was out of town the time when it was happening here.
Oh no, you should definitely come to one of those.
Definitely.
Yeah. Hey, Blantyre. Aye. Nah. Blantyre comes out and Blantyre shows us love, man. Like it doesn't even feel like it's a little event that's come to Blantyre. Like it's always special. Like,
homecoming. Trying to bring y'all guys back.
Oh my days. Oh my days. Maybe one time we'll do homecoming in Blantyre.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think it would slap in Blantyre?
It will.
It would?
Definitely.
Oh yeah?
All the BT
More
artists.
than else.
All the BT artists that went to L's, they just come back and just show love, man. Show love, man. This year.
This year?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay,
Come
then you stop all this chatter. You stop. You understand?
Nah, I fully understand.
You fully get it, yeah?
Yeah, man.
Nah, it's just there's a bit more infrastructure there. And yeah, man, there's opportunities that we are creating ourselves and, other people. But yeah, man, we're here doing business. So, I mean, if there was no opportunities in Blantyre, I wouldn't be here. So there's plenty of opportunities here. You just need to know where to look.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for coming to the Sunday playlist. Definitely looking
We
forward
didn't
to
even
having...
talk about music, bro. What are you talking about playlists?
We talked a lot about David Page, man. People don't know who you are, but you are one of the people that, in the creative space, pioneer.
Nah, shout out, man.
Pioneer. And
Shout out,
I'm sure that's the reason why I was like, let's do this. Because the people in Blantyre right now, they're like, yo, what happened to Wafe? We need that back. And I was about to ask you, is it coming back? Yeah?
Let me make some calls. I've been thinking about it since I've been back. I've been thinking about it. Maybe. I kind of miss it. I kind of miss that feeling, you know, shutting down the street, Victoria Avenue, you know. Like maybe one time, I would have to talk to my banners, you know, Terry and Sharon. Yeah. So yeah, but it would be dope. It would be dope to have it back.
Absolutely.
And I think with like the fashion space now, like even with Miss Malawi, like the way it came back last year, it's just opening up again. I just don't know. Are there like any hot fashion designers at the moment?
A lot.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Maybe because like people are not into like designing, like locally made clothes are no longer like G-Danger, right? So you don't really know if like even someone is wearing something that's Malawian, you know? But I think the concept of the event was like around, you know, that African print, but most importantly, Malawian created fashion. So yeah, I mean, I think there's a gap. There's definitely a gap in the fashion space that we might.
All right, real quick, 5 Malawian artists that you're listening to that are not necessarily out there.
That are not out there.
Yeah, in any order.
I think I listen a lot to our own music. Like I said, we're actively making music.
Yeah.
So I don't want to disrespect anyone by saying they're not out there because they're probably out there, but I would say.
But you know, the people that haven't reached like 1 million views. You know, the type of YouTube views, like, how come this song only has 22,000?
There's a lot of those in Malawi. I feel like that's our industry. Our industry is like below, like especially at the urban space. Like it's now that it's growing into the millions in recent years. But I would say that I'm actually listening to.
That you like?
I would say DB Turn Up, Barely Sober Gang. It's because from Blanta. Yeah, definitely check them out. They're definitely putting in the work. Who else am I listening to, man? Who's not? Arbis the Kid. A lot of his stuff is like old though.
Yeah.
But I think that's like one of the kids that I definitely listen to every now and then. Nothing Chalu Chalu. Like I said, I wouldn't say nothing Chalu Chalu. It's not out there, dude. Like I feel like it's definitely out there. Like Lord Timmy, like he's put out 2 songs last year. He's coming with an album this year. This one, I can't wait for people to hear it.
Yeah,
because it's very special and it's very powerful. The message is very powerful. Thai Frequency, the DJ artist, event producer, all of that. But he's also like making music and working on music. Ali Beats, OV6, he's still in the game, he's still working. I think that's someone that sometimes just goes under the radar, but is like always active, always producing for your favorites.
No, but the people that know him, they know what's up.
To know. Yeah. Is that 5?
Yeah, I think we got more than that, which is
I kind of mixed it up there. But yeah, Way Too Savage, definitely.
Yeah, Way Too Savage.
On the rise. Yeah, and I think I don't want to disrespect anyone by saying I don't want to put anything in the universe that kind of sounds like we're not outside, but definitely outside. And you know, people are listening. It's just a matter of time.
All right.
Yeah, man.
Definitely looking forward to a part 2 of this interview where we dive into the music, man. Where we dive into the music, talk more about the music.
Yeah, man. You should sit down with Lord Timmy as well so that you can actually just, you know.
Like you guys are still around, so you got some time.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, definitely make that happen.
Hey, I might dip tomorrow. I say, I'm not promising anything.
Oh, yeah?
I said, the weather here is terrible, man. It's like, I say, okay, explain it to me. Cool. It's foggy outside, but it's so hot at the same time.
Man. SPTs.
What's happening, man? Like, people have cut down so many trees now.
Well, I don't know, just too much climate change, man. We get different weather every year. Like, you get a hot summer, then you get a cold summer the next year, then you get,
the ice is literally melting.
Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, man, thank you very much for coming through. I really appreciate your time. You guys are very busy. And for you to come here and, you know, allow us to do this interview, Appreciate it.
No, man, thank you so much for having me. Appreciate the work that you guys are doing as well. Keep going, move to else, you know. That's the last step that you need to take. But yeah, man, thank you for having me, man. It's been fun. It's kind of nerve-wracking. I thought you'd be in the frame with me, but
It's radio.
But yeah, man, lovely, love it out here.